it doesn't have to be us. I don't know. I don't think that's true. I think we could potentially have, you know, find out. Oh, I need to see one of those. I would acting like I was survivor there for a second, looking for a gen. I don't even want to say invasion. We could have visitors, literally tomorrow. It's not. I guess that's a lot about us as humans as well, isn't it? We're very egocentric. Do you not notice that? You don't notice how you said that? How egocentric that were? We're the ones who need to do it. There's no other alien out there who can do it. We're the ones. So only when we do it, that will happen. No, that doesn't have to be the case. They could be literally visitors like tomorrow. They could be. It's not based on us. There's other, or potentially other really intelligent life forms out there. Yep, X-Rays on Discord. Faster than light travel could be possible, but our current understanding says not. But that doesn't mean an alien species hasn't discovered it. Exactly. Yeah, our current understanding, you're right to say that. A lot of people, they get confused by that. They think because we have a certain understanding now, it will never change. Which is obviously not true. There you go. Just want to scam the new in. Probably, yeah, but I'll look at a chart. I'm not really paying attention. I think we still win. We have a lot of momentum there. We'll see though. I didn't realize how we've been here because of the stealth. Good though. Why not hook? I only hook two. The more you hook, the more... I know it's counterintuitive, but on this game, the more you the more survivors you hook, the weaker you get as killer. Until they're on the death hook, and then that's when you start getting benefit. You only get benefit from hooks, really, as killer, on the first hook, and that's only if you have certain perks, or on the last hook. And the first hook's only if you have good, if you have perks for it as well. If you don't have perks for it, you get nothing for the first hook either. So ideally, you only really want to care about the last hook. That's like the big one, what matters. I see all that fountain, you little bitch. You also stay very unpredictable if you're slugging and not just hooking. Whenever you Hello. Whenever you hook someone and pick them up and everything, the whole map sees your aura. Another big negative. Also, you'll get people like raging when you're slugging and things. But it doesn't make any sense. Slugging is near enough the exact same as hooking. Which I think is quite interesting. It shows you kind of the power of narrative, that actually. Narrative is a lot stronger than people realize. It's almost brainwashery. Like, it can almost like brainwash you. Slugging's a perfect example. So, you know, you've probably heard people like crying about slugging, saying, oh, slugging's really bad here and there, right? Have you heard that, guys? Because I'm going to blow your mind with how powerful narrative is in regard to this. Is that a bot? I think it is, isn't it? That were actually good movement for once. It did it by accident, but it did something that you should do in that situation. But yeah, your mind blow. Okay, so slugging, really toxic. Wow, so nasty. Oh my god, you shouldn't slug. Well, it's so bad. Devs, do something about slugging. What's the difference between slugging and hooking, really? If you're slugged, you're in one spot for X amount of time until you're picked up. If you're hooked, you're in one spot for X amount of time until you're picked up off the hook. So what really is the difference? The only real difference is the perk activation, of course, but I don't think people are thinking that far into it. If you listen to them, they don't talk about that. They talk about it's just, you know, toxic to do or whatever. But I think it's because of the narrative. There's no like logical reasoning. Everyone told you slugging's bad, so slugging's bad. Exactly. There's no like rational thought in it. Even the devs fall for it, but the devs are quite clueless with all that stuff. They just listen to the biggest voices. No, mate, it's super different. When you're hooked, you're most likely to get up quicker, based off nothing. Right? Based off nothing. You have base BT, didn't you, Ster? And they still cried about it. DS is a perk. Unbreakable is when you're slugged. So you just countered your own stance. So now I don't even know if you're even like saying I was wrong, because you just give me an example of a perk what works for slugging. So I have a feeling that you're maybe memeing, I don't know. But yeah, it's interesting, right? I find it quite interesting. The like narratives on DBD are very, very powerful. They're very, very powerful. People follow them quite blindly, I've noticed. Plot twist before down forces pick up. Yeah, that's true. Unbreakable. Unbreakable messes with slugging as well. Games are meant to be played for fun. If you're not having fun, then Killer can enjoy his fun by himself and you think that's okay, question mark? Well, yeah, it's very entitled, yeah. It is why I say DBD is one of the most entitled player bases. Because you're not always going to have fun in a PvP game. It's just the nature of them. You know, Fortnite, for example. You land, you get no weapon. Someone has a weapon, kills you, you're dead. Weren't too fun, were it? Happens though. Main difference between slugging and hooking is that hooking gives a hook state and brings the survivor closer to death. No, nope. When you're slugged, you have a timer as well when you're getting closer to death. It's just a longer one. The hook timer takes 2 minutes 20 seconds, I think, right? The slug timer takes 4 minutes. You have a timer on both. Anything else? You heard people on forums say that slugging is toxic because it removes survivors' agency, but that argument makes no sense. Hooking them does the same thing. Yep. Exactly. That's what I'm saying, it's like a narrative. A lot of it won't make any sense. So you'll have people all saying this stuff that doesn't make any sense, and they'll all be agreeing with each other of this stuff that doesn't make any sense. It's an echo chamber. That's why, you know, I was gonna say, like, you know, it could kind of blow your mind that I'm just gonna break this narrative and you know, make some of you at least realize like how ridiculous it is, right? It actually makes no sense. There's a timer for both hook and slug, and on both, ironically, when you're slugged, you can actually do more than when you're hooked. When you're hooked, you're static. When you're slugged, there's lots of things you can do. You can push into an area where you think the killer won't come to go for a heal. You could go under a pallet, you know, just in case of the pallet's done. You can go out more out positioned for a flashlight save. There's actually more you can do when you're slugged, ironically. Yeah, kind of interesting, right? But that's why I said, like, DBD is like full of narratives.